This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a daily news update slash my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. There has been a death in the pro wrestling world. Former WWE development wrestler who wrestled for SWE Fury. I put one of his matches in the description of this. Ivan Warsaw, good friends with Enzo, from what I recall. Enzo, back when he wrestled for SW Fury, when I was involved with them, he would only do the match, at least the first one, if it was against this Ivan Warsaw guy. That's my only connection with him, but he was shot and killed in Burton County, Arkansas, according to the Burton County Sheriff's Department. My friend Matt Duffield, who's an Arkansas state representative, let me know about this. He also wrestled for Matt's Traditional Championship Wrestling Company. He was killed exactly 24 hours ago in the area of East Highway 12 near Rogers, Arkansas. Authorities say when deputies arrived on the scene, they found the 41-year-old bleeding from his abdomen. He was transported to a nearby hospital where he died. It's unknown what the circumstances around it are. He was in development for a few years. I'm gonna guess probably around the time Enzo was in there, 2012, 2013 ish. I don't know much about him. He wrestled Finley before. Obviously, not a super successful career, but he was around. So hopefully they'll get to the bottom of who killed him. And I am going to have Matt Duffield on next week, who knew him well. He was the owner of Traditional Championship Wrestling, Arkansas State Representative. He's going to tell me more about it once he knows more. SmackDown tonight had 9,375 pre-sold. Nothing big to report really from SmackDown. The big Goldberg retirement match is tomorrow at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, which can hold up to 20,425 for basketball. But there's only about 11,000 pre-sold tickets as of today for Goldberg's retirement match against Gunther, which I think people just aren't interested because they don't think Goldberg's going to win. They don't want to see him in a long match. And Gunther, like the old school fans that like Goldberg, don't like Gunther for the most part. Like to me, he's not a believable tough guy because he's too skinny. And a lot of the old school fans have just tuned out and don't want to watch it anymore. Although I'm sure, I'd be shocked if it doesn't pop a rating of some sort. But none of us want to see Gunther beat him from that were Goldberg fans like I was. AEW, and I have done a bit of research into this. They keep bragging that they have a $3 million gate for their All In tomorrow. According to AI, and I mean, they're definitely, AI is underestimating talent compensation because AEW pays a fortune for talent. But the cost of the show is probably somewhere between 4.2 and 8.5 million according to AI. I would say AI saying 2 to 4 million for talent pay is an understatement. But again, that the show is not about making money. It's owned by a billionaire. I'm just saying, if you give me 10 million, 20 million to put on a wrestling event, I can get you a good crowd. If I had a pocketbook like that. I once had 15% of a town turn up for an indie show I put on in Hawkesbury, Ontario. Only a 10,000 person town. I had almost 1,500 people at the event. So they're going to Dallas, massive market. The venue holds over 40,000 people. Actually, I wrote it down here. It can hold over 43,000. They got somewhere over 20,000, including comps, sold right now. But again, like, I'd like to see how much they're actually making. Are they actually turning a profit on this? because I understand there's 11 matches on the main card, and then supposedly there's 2 hours of pre-show. So just think about how much that would cost for flights and hotels alone. Again, that's just my opinion on it. Like what I'm impressed with is how much a profit is on an event. And yeah, the capacity is about 43,593, the legit capacity. The women's evolution show this weekend, according to Dave Meltzer, is going to be papered like crazy. Only about 4,000 tickets out for the women's evolution show. Meltzer also brings up that the perception of WWE since April has dropped considerably. It's definitely losing its quote unquote hotness. This all really, you could say The Rock not showing up. I mean, the booking's not interesting, and the shows are drawn out. There's too much talking. It's very boring. But I think one thing that contributed to it all was The Rock not appearing at WrestleMania and that John Cena angle just going nowhere. I don't know if he purposely sabotaged the Cena angle because it has, you could say the Cena angle's been a flop. Although the initial heel turn got a lot of buzz, ever since then it's been very lackluster, to say the least. Here's something interesting. WWE President Nick Khan sold 1.685 million worth of his stock this week. And Dwayne Johnson now has 62 million in stock. So that's the one weird thing. Dwayne Johnson has 62 million in stock, but he's not like appearing more. He is definitely getting a lot of his family members under contract, but it's like he could really boost interest in WWE. But for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's true that he wants it to get worse so they get rid of Triple H. I really don't know. But I do find it interesting that he has 62 million in stock and he's not more of a direct part of WWE because he could make a huge difference. I mean, he's considered one of the top actors in Hollywood. He's cool. He has a better physique than anyone in wrestling. He would bring more attention to it, but for whatever reason, we haven't seen him. He didn't want to do the match against Cody Rhodes that they had teased. He didn't want to participate in the Cena heel turn beyond the first turn, which kind of just made it go nowhere. Apparently, with WWE buying AAA, CMLL is going to be in great risk. Of course, Tony Khan's involved with CMLL. He'll probably put a bunch of CMLL wrestlers that aren't already under AEW contract on AEW contract, but CMLL does not pay a lot itself. So they're almost going to be forced, and they have been forced to have a stronger relationship with AAA because WWE can just swoop in and buy all their top wrestlers. Their top wrestler right now is Mystico, who I think used to be known as Sin Cara in WWE. There'll be a bidding war for him, apparently. So it'll be interesting to see. Was that Rodney Mack in the screen grab? No, but that's Ivan Warsaw. I don't know how you can confuse a white guy with Rodney Mack. He was friends with Rodney Mack. That's Ivan Warsaw and Enzo. Ivan was killed. He was shot yesterday. Rodney Mack. The news with Rodney Mack is his wife Jazz was at the Performance Center a lot lately, so she might be getting a full time job there. That's the rumor. She also did something for LFG, which, by the way, LFG has been bombing in the rating. To me, LFG was supposed to be like a tough enough type thing, but it's all people that already have contracts. Who wants to see wrestlers that already all have contracts compete for what? You all already have contracts. You're already technically competing for a job on either the NXT roster or the main roster. So it's not like Tough Enough where we're back when Tough Enough existed. It was a lot harder to get in WWE for one thing, and there's a huge percentage of wrestlers these days that have zero training. That's part of the reason why it's not as good in my opinion. The they can only do choreographed matches, and they get completely lost if they have to call anything on the fly. But I don't want to go into a rant on that. God, I don't know what the circumstances is around Ivan's death. Uh, but let's hope it's nothing bad. God bless him. Sorry for another loss. I didn't hear anything bad about him in wrestling. Matt Duffield says he was a nice guy. I know Enzo liked him. Enzo, to me, who apparently is going back to TNA, he's a nice guy. Anytime I've dealt with Enzo, but I remember I was on the phone call because I was helping SWE at the time. I was on speakerphone with Tom Lance when Tom was talking to Enzo, and he would only wrestle Ivan. So that's like was a trusted friend of his. They even did an angle where, and it actually made the news, where they pretended that Ivan had pile driven him and legitimately hurt his neck. And it actually got buzz on the internet. I think it was Kevin Sullivan's idea, from what Kevin told me, because SWE was his last booking, which Teddy Long kind of sabotaged that whole SWE fury. But I heard Teddy Long's son died of mysterious causes. Teddy Long's son died. He was found in his clothes this week. So who knows? As much as I find Teddy to be a snake, I'm sorry to hear that about his son. Zach, I don't know. All I know is I've wrestled Rodney Mack, speaking of SWE, for SWE in a bunkhouse match. And Rodney Mack, I don't know. I would never consider him white, but again, I guess if you're just glancing at it, but no, that's Ivan Warsaw, who's passed away from a gunshot